Happy Saturday. Welcome to class. This is typically a pretty gentle, slow flow morning wake up kind of a vibe. So, um, one of our main programs at Yoga Farm is a 200-hour online yoga teacher training called Radiant Warrior. And within that training, we do a particular set of postures, most of which you will do today in class at a slow pace. And the intention of that set of postures is to be able to like amp it up if you want to, or to slow it down even more if you want to. So I just like to remind students always at the beginning of class, this is your practice. Do what feels good for your body. Ignore me at any time. Get fancy at any time you would like to get fancy. And there's no expectation that you will listen to what I say. And then there's no expectation also that you will amp anything up or do anything that's outside of your edge, particularly first thing in the morning. You know, if you want to challenge yourself in a yoga practice, sometimes that's better to do once your body is already warm. It's not the thing that you do right out of the gate. And this is why a lot of vinyasa yoga classes, there's a risk of injury, most specifically with the rotator cuff and sometimes low back and hip injuries. But shoulder injuries are the most common injuries in yoga from all of that flow. Plank, down dog, shift forward, lower down. So your focus is going to be to take care of your body and to listen to what feels good and only do that, and be supported in all of those decisions along the way. So we are going to start class lying down. I love to start classes in Shavasana and end them in Shavasana whenever possible. I think that we all could use a little bit more intentional pause in our days. So just lie all the way down. Let your shoulders relax back. Bring your awareness into your breath. Excuse me. Excuse me. That's what I get for cleaning before class starts. And just follow your breath in and out. Give yourself an opportunity to arrive here for class this morning. Maybe start to nod your head side to side, massaging the back of your head on your mat, feeling into your neck and your shoulders. Is there any creakiness? Is there any tension from sleep? And then bring your head back to center and stillness. And move your toes side to side, windshield wiper motion. Moving your toes out and then towards one another. And bring your toes back to center and point and flex your ankles. Is there tension in your calves, your shins, your thighs, your low back? Where do you feel these first movements of the practice? On your next breath in, reach your arms up over your head. Get as long as you can in your body, stretching from fingertips to your toes. Fullest breath in, lengthening your whole body. And then exhale to bring your knees into your chest and give them a hug. Maybe rocking side to side a little bit. And bring the rocking to stillness. Keep your legs in nice and close. On an inhale, you're going to stretch all the way out, fingertips to toes. All the way. Stretch your legs all the way out. Yep, arms back overhead. Get as long as you can. On your exhale, you'll curl back into a ball. You can choose if you want to bring your nose to your knees as well. And then on another inhale, you lengthen and stretch all the way out. Just starting to warm the spine and the core center line of the body. Inhaling to stretch out, exhaling to curl up. Deep, full breaths. And then go ahead and plant your feet so that your feet are flat on the mat and your knees are up. Bring your hands down next to your sides. Roll your shoulder blades back so your chest is wide open. And on your breath in, press into your feet and lift your hips up toward the ceiling. Just gently, a little bit of a back bend here, not too deep. We're early on in the practice. Exhale and bring your hips back down. Inhale, bring your hips up. Exhale, bring it down. See if you can keep this movement and flow with your breath. And focus on using your thigh muscles and your feet to elevate your hips rather than your glutes. Just a couple more. And then lower the hips back down. Bring your knees again into your chest. And from here, you can decide if you want to rock and roll up to a seat or if you want to roll over onto your side and press your body up. Coming into a cross-legged position. We're going to move into Siri Om. So the Siri Om posture is a big circle where you inhale and bring your chest forward, lift through your chin, and then exhale as you sweep and round your spine back, pulling your belly button into your spine, sweeping forward, inhaling as you sweep forward, exhaling as you round, tucking your chin. We want to move the spine in all the directions that it can move. So we're gonna do this to not only warm up the spine, but also start to stir the energy that rests at the base of the spine. You can let your eyes close. You can let your neck get involved if you'd like. Don't worry about what it looks like. Just think about what it feels like, what you're feeling, what sensations are happening. Change direction. Start to make these circles smaller and smaller, intentionally drawing a spiral with the top of your head as you make your way back to a neutral and still spine. Good. Roll those shoulders back a couple times. And come onto all fours, tabletop pose. Hands and knees position. So in your tabletop, stack wrists under elbows, under shoulders, knees under hips. Take a deep breath in to lift the chest and the chin. Dip your belly down. Breathe deeply. Cow pose. Exhale to cat. Send the center of your spine up toward the ceiling. On every exhale, on every inhale, come into cow. You can move as fast or as slow as you would like in your cat-cows. Keep inhaling and exhaling deeply and fully. And then come back to neutral spine. Plant those hands, nice and firm and strong here. Lift your left toes up towards the back. So lengthening through your left leg. And then bring your left knee in towards your chest. You can decide to bring your nose towards your knee or not. Inhale to lengthen, exhale to bring it in. Inhale to lengthen, exhale to bring it in. Keep your chin actively moving back and forth or lifted towards the front of the room. So if you're gonna keep your neck stable, lift the chin. Take a deep breath in, straighten out that leg, and then bring it down on an exhale. Maybe wag your tail a little bit, shake out your wrists if they're starting to feel A lot of sensation. Remember to use all of your fingertips, pressing them into the floor. That will help. Lift your right leg up. Bring it into your chest. Lift. Bring it in. Inhale, stretch that leg all the way back. And then bring it down. Wag your tail a little bit. Shake out the wrists. And find child's pose. Knees come out, big toes touch, sink back. Maybe even bend your elbows. And bring your hands behind your head. Giving your wrists a little break. Taking a full breath in and full breath out. Allow your breath to deepen, your heart rate to slow down. Go ahead and walk your hands back. So you're up. On all fours again, tabletop pose. Finding some stability here. Inhale, stretch your left toes up and back again. Doesn't matter how high they go. Look at your left thumb and step your left foot to your left thumb. So you're in a low lunge. Tuck your back toe so that you can stretch that back leg further. Just a little bit. You might need to lift up your knee, stretch it back to really get into the hip. You can bring your hands onto your thigh. So we're keeping that back knee down for now. And then inhale, maybe to float your arms up to Anjaneyasana, the pose of devotion. Taking full deep breaths. Lift up through your pelvic floor, squeezing your perineum. Open through the chest, lift up through the center line of your body. Deep breaths here. Sometimes in this pose I like to put my hands behind my head and stretch my shoulders or move in my side body. Sometimes I make big circles with my arms. So do whatever you want to do with the upper part of your body. You can also just keep your hands on your thighs or keep your hands on the floor or blocks. And let's go ahead and put the left hand on the left hip and the right hand on the left knee, twisting your body over to the left. So stay open through the chest, draw your navel in, take full deep breaths here. In the twist, find some stability. And then come back to center, float the arms up. And exhale, bring your hands back down onto the floor. Tuck your back toes, now lift the back knee and step forward into a forward fold. Nod your head, shake out your shoulders, whatever you want to do. Bend and straighten your knees. Remember, these morning practices are really about just figuring out where life has settled into the body and creating some space. Connect your hands to the floor. This time, step back with your left foot. Left knee comes down. Left foot softens. And lift your hands up onto your thigh. Maybe bring them up overhead. Lifting, lengthening, open through the chest. Breathing deeply. Exhaling completely. Emptying the body of breath. Any intuitive movement you want to do with your arms. And you can bring your right hand onto your hip this time and your left hand onto your right knee. Twisting over to the right side of the room. Open through the chest, roll your shoulder blades back. Breathing deeply. Inhale back up to center. And exhale those hands down. Tuck your back toe, lift your back knee, and step forward, Uttanasana. Separate the knees. Maybe notice if you like to have a wider stance in your forward fold, or if you prefer to put your feet together. It's just something to play with, the difference. And at first, see if you can find that knee bend. Right, so your bent knees help to release your low back. Straight legs lengthen your hamstrings. But bent knees release your low back. So what do you need more this morning? Do you need more spaciousness in your hamstrings or more spaciousness in your low back? Maybe you're like, I probably need both. So you can go back and forth between that flat back, straight leg position, hands on the shins or thighs. And exhaling to bend the knees and fold. That's always an option. Nice and slowly start to rise up to stand. Vertebra by vertebra, rising up. Tell everybody else to get blocks and then I forget. Shake out your legs. All right, so from here, go ahead and bring your arms up overhead and let's loop the left hand around the right wrist. Imagine you're lifting and lengthening first and then coming up and over to a side body stretch. Try to keep your weight equally distributed between left and right foot and left and right hip. So you might not fold very far, that's okay. Inhale to center. Change the grasp. Inhale, lift. And exhale to lengthen the side body. Don't forget to breathe. Inhale to center. Sweep those arms back down. Roll the shoulders back. Let's find mountain pose. Palms face forward. feet are separate and maybe even further than your hips. Press into your feet. Engage your calf muscles. Lift your kneecaps. Squeeze your thighs. Tuck your tail. Pull your belly button up and in. Draw the chest forward, the shoulders back. Arms engaged. Slightly draw your chin back. Strong. Steady. And exhale to release all that tension. Let it kind of melt. Maybe do a little willow tree qigong move here. Don't slap your neighbor. And that's like a good rule of life, I think. All right, come back to stillness, center, and make your way to the top of your mat. We're gonna move through the simplest sun salutations, okay? Very, very basic. If you have fancy sun salutes you like to do, lift the leg, bend the knee, flip it over, whatever you wanna amp it up to, be my guest. You can do all the fancy things you want to do. I'm gonna not do fancy things and just do a very simple, sweet sun salutation. So inhale, sweep the arms up overhead. Exhale, bow forward towards the floor. Plant your hands. Step back to either plank or tabletop pose. Bring your knees down and then lie down on your belly. Take a breath in to lift your chest, but don't use your arm strength quite yet. We're just gonna keep the cobras low for now. Bring your forehead down. Inhale, press up and back to your downward facing dog. Hips are high, head is low. Full breath in here, look at your thumbs, walk your feet forward and fold. Inhale, rise all the way up. Exhale, bow forward. Plant your hands, step back to tabletop or plank. Knees down, lie down. Keep those elbows close. Inhale to back bend. Exhale, forehead to the floor. Inhale, up and back, downward facing dog. You can always move through tabletop there. Look at your thumbs, walk your feet forward and fold. Inhale, rise. Exhale. Step back, plank or tabletop. Knees down, lie down. Find your favorite back bend. Bring your forehead down. Inhale, up and back, downward facing dog. Look at your thumbs, walk forward, fold. Inhale, rise up. Move through 2 more sun salutations at your pace. Whatever version you like. Good, keep those elbows tucked nice and close to your rib cage, protecting your shoulders. And eventually we'll all meet in downward facing dog. So the next time you're in that down dog position, just pause there, take some deep breaths. Maybe walk your dog a little bit. Press into all of your fingertips, roll your shoulder blades back, send your chest towards your shins. Lift through your tailbone. Deep, full breaths. Pressing into all 10 fingertips. Lift your right toes towards the back of the room. Three-legged dog. Three-legged dog prevents blood clots from forming in our legs. You can bend and straighten the leg if you'd like to, kind of kicking your own butt. Look at your thumbs and step your right foot forward next to your right thumb. Now grab your blocks. Place them underneath your hands. Lift your chest up and forward. So you're not folded or rounded towards the floor. You're rounding so much in our regular lives. So we want to roll the shoulder blades back and open the chest. Deep, full breath here. Look down and make sure that your right knee is directly over your right ankle. It's not in front of it and it's not behind it. In front of it can cause some inflammation in the knee. Deep breath in. Keep a hold of your blocks and spin your back heel down so that your left toes are facing the left side of your mat and your foot is flat. So really press into the pinky toe side of your foot. Good, lift up your right hand, right block, and bring it to the inside of your right heel and ankle. Straighten your right leg. Float your left fingertips. Trikonasana, triangle pose. Deep breath in. Try to lift out of your side body. Draw your navel up and in. Create space in the right side, not collapsing in the right side. Bend the knee again and lift up to warrior two. Arms are parallel to the floor. And this is going to be our dynamic movement, okay? So we'll inhale up to warrior two. Exhale down to Trikonasana. Inhale to warrior two. Exhale, Trikonasana. Inhale, Virabhadrasana 2. Exhale, Trikonasana, triangle. Just moving back and forth, hinging, creating mobility in the hip, strength in the thigh. And pause here in triangle pose. Deep breaths. Maybe even bring that arm behind your back, like it's resting on your low back. Your left arm behind your back. Right arm stays on your block. Roll those shoulders back and see if you can peek up at the ceiling. Shaking means miracles are happening. Bring your hands back down on your blocks, both hands down. Frame your right foot with your blocks again. Come up onto your back toes. Move those blocks out of the way. Step back and lift that leg up in three-legged dog again. Look how fancy we are. Bring your right foot down. Walk your dog a little bit. Find your plank pose. Inhale deep. Exhale, lie all the way down. Make a pillow with your arms. Bend your knees. Windshield wiper your legs side to side. Massaging the thighs, releasing the hips. Where do you feel sensation? Sometimes I like to bend and flex my ankles really fast, kind of like shaking out the bottoms of my legs. And then you can bring them back down to stillness. Full breath in. Full breath out. Plant your hands underneath your shoulders. Keep your elbows glued towards your rib cage. Tuck your toes. Lift up and back to downward facing dog. Left foot lifts towards the ceiling, towards the back of the room, whatever works for your hips. Maybe you bend and straighten that leg a couple times. Looking at your left thumb, step your left foot forward to meet your left thumb, or pick it up and put it there. It doesn't ever have to be graceful. Grab your blocks and find your high lunge position. Remember, we want to roll those shoulder blades back. Lift through the chin, lift forward in the chest. Like we're very puffy chickens, just sticking our chest out. I mean, this is a yoga farm. We have to make references to things like puffy chickens. Plus, I really want chickens right now. Matt says I travel too much to have chickens. Spin your back heel down so that your right toes face the right side of your mat. Bring your left hand, left block to the inside of your left foot. Straighten out that left leg. Float your right fingertips up. And you might notice that one side of the body is a little bit easier to do than the other, or you feel more stable in one side. So just notice that. And remember, this is our exhale. Inhale up to warrior two. Exhale to Trikonasana. Inhale up. Bending in that front knee, exhaling, straightening, coming down to Trikonasana. Hinging back and forth. And the next time you're in triangle pose, pause there. And maybe put that right hand behind your back. Roll those shoulders back. And look up at the ceiling. Undoing all the slouching and the forward-facing movements. Texting, computering, driving. Breathing deeply. Exhaling completely. Release that hand, bring it back down on the block. Frame your left foot and come up onto your right toes in that high lunge. Move your blocks out of the way. Step up and back for three-legged dog. Sweeping that left leg. Bend and straighten. Bring your left foot down. Walk it out a little bit. Plank pose on an inhale. Exhale, knees down, lie down. Bend those knees, windshield wiper your legs side to side. Bring your legs to stillness and lower them down for a moment. And go ahead and prop yourself up onto your elbows in Sphinx pose. So in Sphinx, your elbows are right underneath your shoulders. Hands are spread nice and wide, fingertips are wide. And you'll have a few choices here based on how back bends feel to you. So we'll start with the left toes. Bend the left knee, bring the toes up towards your glutes. Reach back with your left hand and grab a hold of whatever you can reach back there. Maybe it's your pants. You can also try to flip and bring your hand to the inside of your left ankle so that your thumb is up. Thumbs up, good. When we flip our grasp from thumbs down to thumbs up, we're externally rotating the shoulder joint. So grasping from this direction is an internal rotation. Grasping from this direction is an external rotation. The more that we can externally rotate our shoulders, the less rounding and slouching we'll have as we get older. And you can release that down. Come back to neutral and center. Bend your right knee. Same thing, we're gonna reach whatever we can find back there. And maybe you flip the grasp again and bring your hand to the inside of your ankle and your thumbs up towards your big toe. Good. Press into your left elbow. Draw your navel into your spine. Lift up in your pelvic floor. All right, you can bring that down. Now you can decide to go back and forth between left side and right side, left side and right side. You're also welcome to reach back with both hands and grab your toes. You can do internal grasp, which is an external rotation, or the external grasp, which is an internal rotation. You might notice one feels better than the other, so do the one that feels better, not the one you think you're supposed to be doing. Because we don't say should in yoga. We don't should on our yoga practice. It's good for your posture. I always joke that if my grandmother was alive, she would have literally no idea what I do for a living. It would not make sense to her. There's no way she would know, but she would be proud that I have good posture. She would be proud I'm teaching other people about good posture. She had some specific priorities. All right, very slowly, not like a slingshot. Release out of the pose. Reset your spine. Breathe deeply. Long and slow and deep. And those of you who are physically in this space, you will be facing away from me in a moment, and that's totally okay. I promise I'll be very clear in my instructions. And I promise I'm not doing anything interesting up here. From this pose, very carefully roll over onto your back, like a little alligator roll. Rolling all the way over. Wrapping your shoulder blades back. Plant your feet and bring your knees up towards the ceiling. Feet are flat. Knees are hips distance apart. Place your right ankle on your left knee, creating that figure 4 position. This might be enough of a stretch. If you feel this in your low back and your hips, you're gonna stay right here. For a little deeper stretch, you'll bring your left knee into your chest and interlace your fingers behind your left knee. Breathing deeply here in the hip release. Inhaling deeply, exhaling completely. And release that leg back down, but keep your right ankle glued to your knee. Send your knees over to the left side so that your foot is flat on the floor, your shoulders stay on the floor, and you find a twist. Bring your knees back up to center and switch legs. Once you have that ankle glued to your knee, figure 4 position, bring your knee into your chest, give it a hug. Plant your right foot back down, releasing the knee. And then send both knees over to the side in that supine twist, keeping your shoulders plugged into the floor. Bring your knees back up to center. Release your right leg and find happy baby pose. You can stay here until Shavasana, or you can think about if there's anything else your body wants to do before you come to stillness. nice and slowly, spine Shavasana.
I feel all nature indwelling thy will. Like a calm lake, my mind is still. Like a calm lake, my mind is still.
Follow the breath in and out. It only takes a reminder to breathe, a moment to be still, and just like that, something settles, softens, makes space for imperfection. The harsh voice of judgment drops to a whisper, and we remember again that life isn't a relay race. We will all cross the finish line, that waking up to life is what we were born for. As many times as I forget, catch myself charging forward without even knowing where I'm going, that many times I can make the choice to stop, to breathe and be, and walk slowly into the mystery. Take a deep breath in. Exhale the breath down to your fingers and your toes, starting to send some movement to the extremities. Gently roll over onto one side. Just pausing for a moment of gratitude that you showed up for yourself. And then press your body up to a comfortable seat. If you'd like to, you can join me in a metta practice. Metta is the word that means loving kindness. It's one of the radiant abodes in Buddhist philosophy and psychology. And all you have to do is repeat after me. We're going to send love, loving kindness, from our hearts to all beings. I wish for all beings to be happy.
I wish for all beings to be happy.
I wish for all beings to feel healthy.
I wish for all beings to feel healthy.
I wish for all beings to experience peace.
I wish for all beings to experience peace.
I wish for all beings to know freedom.
I wish for all beings to know freedom.
Thank you all so much for giving me this gift of being your guide in your practice this morning. I wish for you to be happy. I wish for you to feel healthy. I wish for you to experience peace. And I wish for you to know freedom. Thank you. Satnam.